This past Friday, I went to dine with Thomas at Grapevine in my state. I arrived at 11 and still had some time before my train at 12, so I went about some of the attractions at the event. Starting with the gift shop, which had a good deal of Thomas merchandise. Mostly the All Engines Go and Thomas One Railway 2 items. Along with these cool displays selling Thomas minis. I got myself the 2023 Souvenir Thomas. I would have gotten the 2022 Souvenir Thomas, but was $3 short. Woe is me. Next to displays and aisles of merchandise was a model train layout that was just about all Lionel Thomas, with the exception of Alton Hall, its coaches, and some other non-Thomas rolling stock. The most interesting thing on the layout was this Mount Rushmore-like cliff face on one part of it. Look familiar? After browsing the gift shop, I explored the area and found some other stuff, like this speeder and some interesting wagons for it. I then went with Fireball and Cobalt to get our picture taken next to Thomas, after which it was almost time for me to catch the train, so I rushed through this other gift shop to get to the platform. It consisted of non-Thomas merchandise and had this awesome display of HO model trains. I caught my train and we left the station. While there wasn't much to see besides passing some derelict rolling stock behind the station, there was a lot to do on board. As we traveled, a story played over the speakers inside the coach. Thomas was invited to take part in the Great Railway Show, leading a parade, on the condition that everybody on board earned their travel badges, which are these round stickers they gave to us. To earn these and help Thomas earn his spot in the parade, we had to help him practice determination, focus in the form of an I Spy game, knowledge in the form of a game of Guess Who where we had to guess each member of the Blubba Steam Team, and fun in the form of jokes Thomas no doubt got from Charlie. While I didn't get to entirely hear out the story, you can rest assured that everyone got their travel badges and Thomas earned his spot leading the parade. After the ride, I went around the event some more. Got more pictures with Fireball and Cobalt, this time next to inflatables of Percy and a mini Tsushima. I then browsed the gift shop again and found these odd Thomas mugs that reminded me of those from the Shining Time Station era. I also met this one girl here. I can tell you she was a big James fan. Speaking of telling, I won't tell you her name or show her face, but if she happens to be watching this right now, you know who you are, you rock, and I put together this clip just for you.
And James was able to pull the train. But he was a sadder and wiser James and took care never to bump coaches again.
After this, I went to this inflatable Knapford station at the end of the event opposite to the entrance, where the Fat Controller would be for photo ops. Fireball got to meet him. Something fun there was to do here was a scavenger hunt, which was moderately easy. I found a boy wearing a green shirt and a play pod, pink buckets of merchandise in the gift shop, a random orange ribbon beside the area the Fat Controller resides, and there were plenty of blue items at the color corner, though I went with the train tables. I was rewarded for my efforts with a pair of cardboard glasses that had blue colored lenses. They also had glasses with red colored lenses there as well. I then went to what I imagine used to be called the Imagination Station, but here it was referred to as the color corner. I didn't get a lot of footage and such here because there were a bunch of kids around, but I can tell you that there were a lot of wooden railway tables along with some rather odd rolling stock choices, mostly the All Engines Go color change models, along with some randoms like a couple Rebeccas without tenders, Nia, a couple of the Tim of Shed's Percys, and a couple of the motorized Talking Cranky sets, and a couple Thomas Wooden Railway 2 sets. After taking this pic reenacting Jeopardy, I discovered something about Bulstrode. You know how he has these weird lips on the side of his inner hull? Today I learned those are for those Thomas Wooden Railway 2 slides. There was also a marionette show in one corner. A wolf MC named Mr. Wolf, and no, not that Mr. Wolf, showed off several acts. An eagle and raccoon duo singing Don't Fence Me In, a rock and roll chimp who was actually a slow jazz singer, a donkey ballerina, a couple dancing cacti, a lion, and some scarecrow before Mr. Wolf ended us off.
Wow, what an amazing volunteer. Give it up for them again. And by the way, folks, we call that last bow we had them take the farmer bow because you're milking the applause. We would really like to thank all the great folks at the town and the Museum of the American Railroad. They made it possible for all our whistle style friends to be here, and Logan and myself as well. So, in a moment you can come up, have your picture made, something to show, your wedding party or your prom date. And please be sure to thank all the volunteers who worked so hard to make Day Out with Thomas a success. We hope you had a great time today, and we hope you have a wonderful day out with Thomas. Thanks again. Now come on up and say hello.
Did I mention he looks and sounds very much like a railway controller? After this, I left the event. I found this awesome statue as I made my exit. At some point along our train journey, we passed Great Wolf Lodge. I went there after date with Thomas to go to their Build-A-Bear to get a Wily Wolf plushie. I had my cash ready only to find out that they only took cards, so I had to get my aunt to use her card for me, which was rather embarrassing. On the bright side, I got my first ever piece of Great Wolf Pack merchandise, and I got these free bear-sized wolf ears, which fit perfect on Cobalt. The Clock Tower gang were dressed up for Halloween. And with that, I went home, having had my fill of fun, and having gotten 2 things I really wanted. And with that, I leave Thomas to send us off.